Hi everyone, my name's Kimmy and I'm here with my co-host Ryan.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast, where we tell you the stories and legends of different lore from around the world.
And we are way more okay than we were last week.
I feel
So,
great.
on that note, do you want to tell me what you found Aloreing in this last week?
What I found at Aloreing might be why I feel so great. I started brewing my own cold brew, and it's
Wait,
really good.
really?
Yeah. It's actually, turns out, super easy. You just add coffee beans, like good coffee beans, in a rag or like a tea bag, and you just soak it in some water for a couple days. And it's really
Okay.
good, really strong. 10 out of 10. Recommend.
Wait, are you saying we couldn't sell it because legal reasons, but we could
Yeah, I
make like
mean,
an alluring drink? Is
yeah.
that what I'm hearing?
I'll post the recipe on alluring.com/Ryan's cold brew recipe. Just a whole
you
page dedicated
you
to it.
have a secret site
Yeah.
in our website?
And like this first one I made was just like beans, but I like read about different ways you can like put a vanilla stick or like a cinnamon
Ooh.
stick in it. And I'm gonna get real weird with it on my next batch.
Oh my god. Do it and let me know. I'll make like a little bottle label and you can have like your
Yeah.
own Olori
There we
drink to
go.
like flex. You like just show up to a party and everyone has like Budweiser or mics and you're
Yeah.
like, you're like, I guess those are nice. And then you pull out your Olori drink and you're like, and everyone's like, what's that? You're like, oh, this old thing?
Oh, you're drinking alcohol? I have cold brew, and then I just get to be real pretentious about it for the whole party.
Oh hell yeah. That's how you have to do it. That's so cool. Well, congrats.
Yeah.
That's a really good alluring thing.
Yeah. What did you find alluring this week?
Um, well, I've been doing more art shows where you set up your little art booth and you sell
Oh
prints and
yeah.
stuff. That's actually been really fun. Edgar is like just like the sweetest ever, and I wanted to do it last year. Like last year, my New Year's goals were more art in my life, like to focus on
Mm-hmm.
that and to travel. And the universe was like, aha, aha, pew, and like shot the travel option off the table. And I
You
was
are
like,
going
well,
to
I can
do
get it.
neither of those things.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, you're going to be a sad extrovert for the next few months, honey. I don't know what you're thinking. But anyway, so like I did focus more on art and I made like a shit ton of art and I didn't even realize I made so much. And then towards the beginning of the season, he was like, "You want to like try an art booth?" And I'm like, "Oh, that would be fun." But like, I only have a week to plan. And then he like comes and sees me again. He's like, "I got you a booth. I know you'll figure it out because that's your
Yeah.
personality." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I had like a ton of prints from the podcast I was selling, a ton of podcast stickers of like cryptid bottles we don't even have in our shop, and like a ton of my personal stuff. But it's been really cool.
Nice.
It's been
Yeah.
really fun to meet a lot of people that like talking about cryptids and lores at the booth. So that's been super fun. And I
For
really
sure.
loved
Yeah.
that. But so that's my luring thing. A lot of people. I've been doing art booths in Salt Lake, so if you follow our Instagram, because that's what I've been posting it on, our Alluring at Alluring Podcast on Instagram, you'll see when we have those art shows, and then you can come and get a bunch of stickers, and you don't have to pay for shipping, which is pretty neat. And you get to talk to me, and I'm super cool, right?
Oh yeah. We are the coolest.
The coolest. And you get a fun little flyer from me that tells you about the podcast. Like, you can scrapbook it. It's great.
Nice. I haven't even seen those flyers. I want to see one.
Oh, I'll have to send it. I
Yeah.
actually like have to take a picture of all the shit I have and be like, what would you like mailed to you? Because I keep forgetting and I'm still mad. I'm still upset that you never got that other letter because my other apartment was a freaking joke. I remember like I would be sending people Christmas gifts, okay? Like fucking Christmas gifts. And it made me so mad because I don't know what happened to the packages. I would like take pictures of packages before I put them in the mailbox. And if I didn't put a damn shipping label on it, they all disappeared. I think I even sent you a picture of me like sliding it in the envelope, like
Yeah,
in the box.
you definitely sent me a photo of the envelope
I
because
was
you're like,
so
look out
pissed.
for this envelope in your mailbox, and it never came. So if
I'm so
Mr.
mad.
USPS man, if you're listening, bring me my damn package, all right? Like, I'm just trying to get my stickers. I don't think it's too
And
much to ask for.
and the thing is, I know how stressful the postal service system is. So
I'm sure it is.
employees help us out, but
Yeah,
fuck your
come on.
people in charge. So that's how I feel about
True,
it.
yeah.
I'm so
It's not the mailman's fault. It's the system that made it the mailman's fault.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Give your mail people snacks. Provide them little water bottles and chips. That makes everyone's day.
Yeah. You
It's
know
fine.
where
I'm
there
not
is
bitter.
no mail is in rivers and streams in Slavic countries. Speaking of which, what we talk about today, Kimmy?
Well, I got a good old legend for you this week. So, if you're ready, if you are visiting any Slavic speaking countries, it would be best to avoid rivers and streams. Probably because there's not any postal service there, but
Yeah.
especially at the start of summer. There is a legend of a beautiful, free spirited woman who dances and sings near the river. If you are a man and see one, though, be cautious. These lovely creatures will become deadly by luring you in with their song and drowning you in the water nearby. So, da, 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 da. I just put there's a lovely picture that you can see if you're watching the video on Patreon, or if you go to aloreing.com/blog, you'll be able to see all these photos as well. But this week, I'll be talking about Rusalka. In this photo, you can see all these beautiful water spirits. They are known to be seen near bodies of water of Slavic-speaking countries such as Ukraine and Russia. And their lore has been around since the 18th century, and they're still extremely popular to this day. So I love this painting. I'll get more into how they look, but it's just a bunch of beautiful women by the water, which marks both of my boxes. So I
Win-win
like
situation.
1,000%. So like as we get into it, I'm like, oh, I would be safe around Rusalka because I'm a woman. And I was like, I don't know if they have any gay or like bisexual placements in line. And it's pretty kind of great because I would be a free pass. And that makes me feel very happy because I absolutely love, these are some of my favorite creatures. This is the
You
episode
found the
everyone...
loophole is what you're saying.
1,000%. This is the episode everyone realizes Kimmy is bi, and she has a thing for merfolk that can drown her. It's okay. It's fine. Everyone's got a type.
Who doesn't?
Right? So, Rusalka physically are very pale-skinned women known for their beauty. They are described to be cold to the touch with slim bodies and are quite well endowed. They have long, wavy hair that appears wet, whether on land or in water, and the hair is shades of green, blonde, light brown, and in later lore, red. Their eyes have no pupils, however, and if this wicked Rusalka is like staring at you, her eyes can sometimes change from like a blazing green color to a blue, which is pretty intense. And being a creature of such beauty, these water nymphs have been compared to sirens, and it's because of their appearance and the way they lure men to their deaths. So as mermaidy as it gets. Yeah, so you in danger. I'm fine, but you're not.
Oh no.
And unlike sirens, they don't possess a tail. They have normal human legs, which gives them the ability to walk on land and swim in the sea. They will wear a comb in their hair, which is supposed to give them the ability to stay out of water as long as they wish. But that is only if the comb is in their possession. They will also wear sheer robes that seem to be made of mist. So I like to imagine like the feather boa, like my husband mysteriously died in a fire robes that are trending is what they wear. This is pretty much just like me fantasizing the perfect human form of a mermaid. That's all this episode is. So, these beautiful creatures are also extremely deadly and are known to have a few different abilities that make them powerful. One of their powers includes shape-shifting. Most commonly, they'll transform into a fish, frog, or anything similar that is closely connected to water. They have also been known to shapeshift into a horse. And another power
Okay, hold on. So they're a water creature. Yes. Everything about them is aquatic. But they're like, you know what? We also want to be on land. A horse sounds good.
Well, if you have the power, you know what? I don't like horses, so
not a seahorse though, like an actual horse.
Maybe there was a mistranslation in Old Slavic tongue, and they turn into seahorses, but someone just thought it was like repetitive, so they're like, it's just a horse. Yeah, they're like, that's
aren't all
weird.
Horses seahorses if they live here?
That one dude that lied on his resume and got hired and is now mansplaining the rest of the office is like, it's obviously a horse. Yeah, he's like, clearly. You don't know what you're talking about, Kathy. I crack myself up. Jeez, I'm so tired. Okay, so I love that they can transform into like little aquatic creatures, and then a horse, obviously. And then another power they have is the ability to cause heavy rain or hailstorms. But they only do this if locals don't pay respect to them. So they're not gonna like just do it to be a jerk. It's more of a like, you don't appease them kind of thing. And finally, a few legends suggest that the Rusalka will use their hair to entangle their seduced victims, tramping them and drowning them with ease. So, more of like a grown-up version of Tangled kind of going on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was picturing. They're just like lassoing you with hair and like tying you down.
Yeah, you were like,
that's
this
rough.
seems like a weird D&D campaign right now. Yeah. Okay, so personality-wise, so even though they are deadly, that doesn't mean they aren't filled with joy. These water nymphs are known as free-spirited souls that love to dance in circles under the moon and climb trees, swing from vines, and giggle as they do so. Depending on the waters will depend if you run into a Rusalka who is more deadly or more friendly. So, southern parts and warmer waters have more breathtaking, kind-hearted Rusalka. But colder waters, more north, are known to have beautiful ones that instantly drown people. So, like, I don't know what's a good example of this. Like, the north is more cold and the south is more warm and free-spirited. I don't travel enough to, like,
Florida.
have a good acknowledgement.
Southern Florida, good to go. You start going north, people are going to start drowning you.
Oh my god. That's actually that's a really great one. And I have been to Florida, so I can attest to it.
Shouts out to my Florida audience.
And there's that one that's listening from northern Florida. That's like,
wait a minute.
Yeah. It's like, hold on.
You know we're correct. Yeah.
That's okay. We still love you guys. Okay. So, Let me tell you a little bit about their lifespan because that's also really interesting. So Rusalka don't live forever, and they have finitive lives. So their souls only stay around until their given time on Earth is completed. So if an individual kills themselves or is murdered, but they were meant to live for 20 more years, their soul will linger for that allotted amount of time. So I like that because it's like, to me, it's like another chapter of their life instead of just like purgatory and death and wandering soul. But for the more vengeful souls, they remain around till their death is avenged. So these souls, they want to be avenged for what was wrongfully done, and they're the ones that were typically murdered, or they have a love story with heartbreaking rejection. So, and that's why
Those are the ones up north.
Those are the northern Florida Rusalka. And then if you click, you'll see this next picture. So this is one of the more popular ones, and it's because she doesn't have pupils. She's just chilling in the tree.
Turns out pupils are important.
It just looks into your soul. Yeah, it's a little unsettling, but like it's just a naked. Well, she's all covered because the hair placement is just perfect, but it's just a free-spirited girl hanging out in a tree, looking at the moon, chilling, enjoying her evening. But they're so. I'm trying not to geek out too hard because I really love this lore. Okay, so let me tell you about the history. So the best place to start is what exactly is a Rusalka. The name is connected to the Slavic word Rus, which can mean many things, such as beautiful and the color red. A Rusalka is a young woman who dies a violent death. The young woman then becomes a water spirit who laughs and plays near the river. The nature of this beautiful creature is very dependent on where she's living. So I didn't expand to it, but like the Rus is also suggested in some lores. It's because they die very violently and red blood kind of thing, but they're also beautiful. So that's where the idea of it comes from. But I just think it's so... I love these complex, beautiful, free-spirited creatures so much. Okay, so, and then if the Rusalka in an area where plant life and crops are bountiful, such as Ukraine or areas around the Danube River, the beautiful, free-spirited spirits play and dance and have a great time. I just feel like I keep saying them, Rusalka, so much times. Jeez. Oh. If you're listening and want to get drunk, take a shot each time I say Rusalka.
Disclaimer, don't do that.
Ryan's like, no, for legal reasons, please don't do that.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. Do it. I didn't hear anything. Okay. So in Slavic mythology, the Rusalka, or also known as Rusalki, is similar to Greek sirens or Sedlitic Celtic mermaids. I want to go with
Celtic mermaids?
Oh my god. Celtic mermaids. That's the word, and I apologize. Jesus. Okay. Celtic mermaids.
We'd like to apologize to our Celtic audience.
You guys are amazing, beautiful human beings, and I can't say shit right, so that's not your fault. That's completely mine. So they are beautiful young women who love to lure men to them. It's believed that the concept of Rusalki came from Slavic pagan tradition where young women were a symbol of fertility. These nymphs didn't intertwine with humans too much and were known to provide much needed moisture to the fields and forests every spring when they danced ashore under the moonlight. They helped in providing high amounts of crop, which led to humans treating them with great respect. It wasn't until the 19th century. I just got the end of that. It was so beautifully faked. It wasn't until the 19th century that the focus of Rusalka being symbols of fertility was shifted to them being deadly sirens. It's said that they are located in harsher climates, and if they are, they are more wicked and wild, especially if they are near haunted bodies of water. They will crawl out of the water at night and ambush men near the river, dragging them to their watery graves. And the combination of Rusalki being a symbol of both beauty and wicked nature has led them to be greatly admired and feared in Slavic society. Ooh. So don't go sleeping by a river, right? I'll be safe, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, me not so much. Unless I stay south, then I'm good. I'm more of a south
Then you
guy
say,
anyway.
Don't go north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lessons learned.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from Lauren? Don't go north? Yes.
Yeah,
that's
never go north.
And this is really cool. So because of the impact Rusalka have placed on locals, there was an event known as Rusalki Week, also known as Green Week. It was maintained into the 1930s. So typically around the first week of June or 7 to 8 weeks after Easter, when summer begins, it is forbidden to swim in any body of water, and those who do are doomed to meet certain death. The lore of locals say that the Rusalki are the most powerful and come to shore to play in trees and dance under the moonlight, and anyone who sees them must dance until they die. Whew. So they will also drag men to their watery graves if they are being unfaithful to their girlfriends or wives. Ooh. So I love a vengeful, beautiful woman. Okay. Yeah. We need the meme of us with the lady from Resident Evil. Just to explain this episode in one word, and it's just her holding us up. Right. So some of the local young women will bring small offerings before they come on shore in hopes of having healthy children. At the end of the week, villagers near the bodies of water will hold ceremonial burials to appease the Rusalki and send them back to the water. Sadly, this tradition was taken away by Soviet forces around the 1930s, but some people still celebrate it to this day, which I think is just super magical, and I absolutely adore that.
Let's bring it back.
Bring it back. I love stuff like this so much. I just think it's the cutest ever. Just like wholesome ways to connect to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing like telling everyone to not swim or else you're going to get drowned, to really bring people together in the holiday season.
Yeah, I'm glossing over a lot of the macabre parts of the tradition. I'm more of the flowery naked woman appeal to it.
Yeah, you got your blinders on to the part about people drowning.
100%. They're like, they murder people. I'm like, we all die at
But
some
also
point.
red-headed mermaid people.
Which one? Beautiful event. There we go. So let me tell you a little bit about the origin. So the popularity of Rusalka over the years has led to many different origin stories. Unlike a water nymph that occurs naturally, they are created through death. So this gets a little sad. A Rusalka is typically a young woman who died by suicide, was murdered, or drowned in a river. The death of these young women typically revolve around them being betrayed by their lover. Their husbands, boyfriends, or their significant others' parents drown the young women in the river, and this results in the creation of the water nymph, the Rusalka. Some lore even says that they are young women who jumped into a lake or river because they were pregnant out of wedlock. Yeah, thank God for times changing, because that's just so sad. And then there's also, if a young woman dies a virgin, whether it's a gruesome death or natural, she'll become a Rusalka, and whether she will live out the remainder, and that's where she lives out the remainder of her life as a water spirit. And then, of course, like, fucking Christianity, like, found a way to sneak in there. The Christians were like, if you're unbaptized your babies, they'll be born as Rusalka. So, of course, Christianity always has to find a way to
don't baptize your babies.
So don't baptize your babies. Listen, it's too late for me. Don't baptize your children.
If only if you want them to become a water spirit.
Listen, this sounds like a lovely deal, you know? Like, me reading this, I'm like, my Rusalka life doesn't sound bad at all. I get to go dance with naked women and swim. Like, that's perfect. Like, no taxes. This is great. I don't know. I think you would, if you had the option to become a Rusalka. I don't know. Am I putting blinders on to something?
100%. I mean, I don't think I can become a Rusalka, but if I could, I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yes. There's definitely limitations you're dealing with.
I think I'd be a southern Rusalka. I don't think I'm going to drown people. I just want to be a cool red-headed spirit that swims around and dances in the moonlight.
Someone please draw Ryan as a mermaid with a beard and everything. That's all we ask for in the show.
That is this week's alluring art prompt.
Ryan as a Rusalka. Well, I have one last bit. So the Rusalka are featured in many Russian and Slavic artworks. So, like, including this painting I just posted. I can't remember the name. I will post it on our blog, and you will see it on Patreon. But it's like called Rusalki, and it's a super old one, but it's just so cute, and they're like happy girls dancing by a river, and it's just adorable. But they're beautiful creatures, and they're deadly, so they're popular in operas, novels, paintings, anything you can think of. And this week I thought it'd be super fun to do a little poem. So I'll be reading the poem entitled Rusalka by the poet Alexander Pushkin. And it's a long poem, so I will take a few pauses during it. Okay. In lakeside leafy groves of freer, escaped the world out there he passed, his summer days in constant prayer, deep studies and internal fast. Already with a humbled shovel, the elder dug himself a grave, and calling saints to bless his hooves, death nothing other did he crave. So once upon a falling night, he bowed down beside his drooping shack, and meekly prayed to the Almighty. The grove was turning slowly black. Above the lake the mist was lifting, through milky clouds across the sky. A ruddy moon was softly drifting, when waters drew the frare's eyes. The frare's eyes. He looked, his heart in full of trouble, a fear he cannot quite explain. He sees the waves rise, more than double, and suddenly grow calm again. Then white as snow, I was doing so good. God damn it. Okay. Thank you. I lost it. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Then white as snow. Then white as first snow of the highlands, light-footed as nocturnal shades, there come ashore and sit in silence upon the bank a naked maid. She looks at him and brushes gently the hair and water off her arms. He shakes with fear and looks intensely at her seductive, luscious charms. With eager hand she waves and beckons, not quickly smiling from afar, and shoots within 2 flashing seconds into still water like a star. The glump old man slept not an instant, at night, all day, not once he prayed. Before his eyes he still hung and glistened, the wondrous girl's persistent shade. The girl puts on the gown of nightfall, the moon walks out of the cloudy floor, and there the maiden young delightful, reclining on the splendid shore. She looks at him, her hair she brushed, smiles, sends him kisses sweet and wild, plays with the waves, caresses splashes, now laughs, now whimpers like a child. Moans tenderly, calls louder and louder, here, monk, to me, then vanish in limped water, and all is silent instantly. On the 3rd day, the ardent hermit was sitting on the shore in love, awaiting the voluptuous mermaid? Oh, that's a strong word.
Voluptuous
mermaid. As shade was laid on the ground. Night ceded to the sun's emergence. By then the monk had disappeared. Instead, a crowd of local urchins saw floating there a wet gray beard.
So, he gone.
He gone. She swooped him out, the voluptuous mermaid.
That voluptuous mermaid. I didn't realize voluptuous was a obviously I knew it was a word, but I didn't know it was like an old word, you know.
Yeah, that's why I stopped on it for a second. I was, and when I read that, and there was another word I read, I was like, what? Because this is an older poem. Anyway,
this poem was actually written in 2019.
They scratched it out and wrote the 9 over it, kind of thing. No, I just thought that was really delightful, and I liked it because it was pretty much showing that they can just swoon people to them. So you got to be wary, you know. But I just thought it was a really perfect description of how their personality is, and there was some things I didn't like in the poem problematic wise, and that's probably why I paused a lot, because I was that didn't age too well.
Wait a minute.
But that's the joy of folklore, is you can read it and you can learn about cultures, and we can do better. But that was the lovely Rusalka this week.
I like that.
And and
those are scary. Maybe not scary to you, but
no. This is...
as we discussed last week, I'm already pretty scared of water, and this
so another thing to add to the list of fear.
Yeah, it used to just be the ocean, but let's add
women.
Let's add rivers, streams, and women to it. So I'm just
Ryan, you're doing great.
God forbid at the same time.
All of them line up at once. You're oh no.
Oh jeez.
Well, I know I was just gushing over them for the last 30 minutes, so it's fine. but let's hear a little bit about your legend and your creature of the deep creatures.
After a word from our sponsors. Cut to commercial. Hey patrons, thanks for watching. You don't have to watch a commercial because you're already here. So we're just going to jump right to my story now. And we're back. Hello everyone. Those were some sick ads, huh?
Yeah. We hope you guys are clicking those links and supporting the show if they apply to
Please
you.
Do. Yeah. That free month of Skillshare. Anyway.
You couldn't learn to embroider like I do. That was a free one, Skillshare.
So one of the skills I learned on Skillshare was steering a Viking boat, which leads me to my story. I'm going to butcher this, and then we're going to not say the name ever again. The Aspidochelone.
Aspidochelone.
The asp turtle for short, which is what we'll call it.
I just watched the Luca from Disney. What's it called? Luca? The cute, like, little boy mermaid show. So I'm like, Aspidochelone. It's so cute.
I'm going to lead into mine with a poem by none other than J.R.R. Tolkien. This time, I will with poetic art rehearse, by means of words and wit, a poem about a kind of fish. The great sea monster, which is often unwillingly met, terrible and cruel, hearted to seafarers, yet to every man. This swimmer of the ocean stream is known as the asp turtle. His appearance is like that of a rough boulder, as if there were tossing by the shore a great ocean reedback, begirt with sand dunes, so that seamen imagine they are gazing upon an island, and more their high prowed ship, with cables to that false land, make fast the ocean courses. At the sea's end, and bold of heart, climb up, such is the way of demons, and want of devils. They spend their lives outwitting men by their secret power, inciting them to the corruption of good deeds, misguiding. We are, of course, referring to the asp turtle. If you're ever lost at sea, a beautiful island may seem like the perfect refuge. However, not everything is as it seems. This fabled sea creature, described as a large whale in some cultures and in others a large sea turtle, is a giant sea monster with a huge spine on the ridge of its back. No matter what form it is, it's always described as being huge, where it is often mistaken as an island due to its island back and having greenery all over it. So basically, we're talking giant sea turtles today.
They're so cute.
They are cute. I mean, this drawing of it's cute. We'll see some more later that aren't so cute, but...
Oh, okay. There it is.
So the asp turtle is a great whale, or turtle, depending on the culture, that has what appears to be beaches on its hide, like those from the seashore. This creature raises its back above the waves of the sea so that sailors believe it's an island. When they see it, they see sandy beaches, and, I mean, you're sailing in the ocean, you see land, you're going to be excited, right?
1,000%.
Wrong. Because as soon as you disembark upon this and you start cooking your food and you're like, man, this is great, the sea monster realizes, oh, there's people on my back, and it submerges, pulling everything down, including the ship. So.
Instant realization of climate change.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just turtle.
Right? This is what's going to happen. We're all just living on a sea turtle right now.
It's just waiting for the final straw. Surprisingly, last year wasn't it. That's right? A little bit more patience in it. It's like, no. I want to count to 10 and see if they can be better. If not, I'm dunking. I'm dunking everyone.
When I was doing research on this creature, like, there's like a story of the world turtle in like a million cultures, but one of them is actually like Native American culture. I believe it was the Iroquois. They believe like the Americas used to be a giant turtle.
That's
not going to go deep into that one because that was not my research, but so this story gets around.
That's so cool though. I feel there's more like, what's the word for it? More, I want to say oomph, if like a creature is super similar in multi-cultures lore.
Yeah.
Because it's like they all saw it, so they all interpreted it as something different.
Yeah, so the Greeks called it the Aspidurtle, which is what we just talked about, which had like a giant spine on its back and just tricked sailors. And then from there, we have the Catholics, which is Saint Bernard. The voyage of Saint Bernard, the navigator, tells of how... Sorry, not Bernard. Brendan the navigator. Tells of how Brendan set out to the Atlantic Ocean with 60 pilgrims searching for the Garden of Eden. And on his journey, he saw an island covered in vegetation. So him and his monks got off, and he was giving a sermon on the island, because that's basically what they were doing, is they were just like island hopping, trying to find the Garden of Eden. And while he's giving his sermon, the island starts sinking. Luckily, him and his monks all got back to their boat as the island sunk into the water, and there's actually like pictures of it in like different drawings clearly, but in like the story of Saint Brendan. So like I guess it's kind of a Catholic canon that this is real. So yeah.
The things I wish they had in the Bible. I haven't read the Bible in a while. If it's in the Bible, please don't roast me too hard. I was like 15 last time.
This is well after the Bible was written.
Okay.
I believe Saint Brendan was an Irish saint. So this was like after Saint Patrick and everything.
Oh, thank God. I may be Catholic. I'm not a good one though. So
I mean, there's a lot of saints out there.
Yeah. I think the best part of that story is the idea where they started preaching their beliefs, and that sea creature may have just been like atheist or Buddhist.
Yeah, it's
or
like, what?
And you know,
going underwater.
And that's like a Utah thing. Like, I'll be really nice, but like if I have like missionaries come to my house more than like 3 times, as they're talking, I'm like slowly closing the door.
You closing the door is the same as this giant sea turtle just going underwater like, ooh, sorry, bye.
Because he could slam it. That's the thing. He could slam them into the water. He could dunk them down. He could baptize them in his belief real quick.
Yeah.
But he's like, let me like tell them I'm not interested gently, and just like slowly goes down.
Exactly.
That's so good.
So then in the Norse mythology, we have a very similar story in the Orvar Odd Tales. So Orva Odds and his crew were sailing southwest through the Greenland Sea in vengeance against the troll Ugmund Floki. The deck officer Vignir knew this area would be dangerous and made Odir agree to sail the ship, beginning the next day, to which Odir requested Vignir advise him. As they sailed, they spotted 2 rocks, which rose out of the water. The presence of these rocks puzzled Odir. Later, they passed a large island covered in heather, which heather is like, they're like kind of like sea reeds, but they're like pink and really pretty.
Okay.
So curious, Odir made up his mind and turned back and sent 5 men to check out the island. As they approached where the island had been before, they saw that the 2 rocks that were behind them had vanished. Vignir explained to Odir that had they landed on this island sooner, the whole crew surely would have drowned. The rocks and island must have been 2 sea monsters, Lyngbak, the great whale in the world, and Halfgulfa, who bore all the monsters in the sea. The rocks had surely been the nose of the Halfgulfa, the island being Lyngbak. Both the Lyngbak and Halfgulfa seem to have, they're essentially the same thing as the asp turtle.
Yes.
So now this is 3 different cultures, all have the same story of giant sea monsters.
Crazy.
with islands on their back.
Crazy.
Yeah. And a fun fact, many people believe that Hafgufa is related to, if not exactly the same as Kraken, which we discussed in our previous episode, due to the description of how it feeds, which is it vomits out food and then eats the stuff that comes for the food, which means that those two giant rocks that were coming out were its beak, like waiting to like snap.
Oh.
So they got really lucky.
Yeah, I was like, it sounds like they're just having a family reunion.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we gotta meet up. It's been a while, haven't seen the kids. Haven't seen the new land masses.
Exactly.
Oh, you have a new river? I'm so proud of you, Brian. I knew you were taking a while to get that going.
So there's not much else on these creatures because they're all like brief passages in books from across different cultures. But I just thought it was really interesting that the Greeks, the Roman Catholics, and the Norse, which are all very different timelines, all have like the same story of a sea monster.
So crazy. I love that. Like, yeah. I get where it's like supposed to be spooky and to like warn people, you know, but I'm just like, that's so cool. I just love that. That's so fascinating to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the lesson is to be learned in this one. I feel like most folklore has like a lesson. This one's just basically, again, stay out of the ocean. Come on, people.
Yeah. Like Rusalka was like, be faithful and don't like murder women.
Maybe it's like, don't inhabit land that doesn't belong to you, like something along those lines.
Don't colonize.
We solved it.
That's the point of that legend. Yeah. And now we see what happens when you do. 2020 hits.
Exactly. Well, yes, that's the sorry it was a short one this week, folks. You can continue this story with the Kraken episode because it may or may not be the same thing, but that's the asp turtle or the world turtle. Or
so if you're listening to this one first, just go straight to the Kraken.
Straight to it, like, and it's going to continue the episode.
Perfect. See, and that's it. And then you're all done. You've done it. And if you listen to the Kraken, now you can listen to this, okay, and hear me out. Then you go listen to the Kraken again. And then it's one loop.
Also, it's not the Kraken. It's just Kraken. Because Kraken means the octopus. So saying the Kraken is saying the octopus, which I learned today. So excuse me in the last episode for saying the Kraken or the Kraken every 5 minutes.
It's okay. I wrote like El Chupacabra, and I think like I say it's me saying the
El Chupacabra.
And like Edgar pointed it out to me, and I know just enough Portuguese and Spanish to like embarrass myself, and I'm like, but I've already printed the artwork, so here we are.
So I guess it's going out. All right, well, before we get to the alignment chart, let's hear about the Aloreing Fund Drive.
Yes. So don't forget to check out the Aloreing Fund Drive, everyone. We only have a few more days to join, so you should do it. Becoming a Patreon this month means you get a thank you gift from us. And it's just because you're supporting us. And I've made a bunch of goodies that you'll receive depending on what tier you join on Patreon. And you'll get access to these video episodes and behind the scene content and bonus episodes of Liquor and Lore not posted anywhere else. And it's just like, It would just be super neat. And we've already had some people join, and it means like so much for us because like I can get a actual P.O. box by myself now, so we can mail more giveaway shit, and I'm so excited about that. Okay.
It's only gonna make the show better, and we appreciate all of you.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. So do become a Patreon today. It means the world for us. It's helping us reach our goals that we have. We have like a special goal. I think if we get like 20 Patreons, I'll mail like an extra sticker to everyone. And that's like, they're like $4 stickers. So if you and like 3 of your friends like sign up, we could probably hit our goal, which is super cool. You guys are awesome. Okay, so anyway, I'm done rambling. Become a Patreon today. It would mean the world to us. Go to patreon.com/Aloreing and go get goodies from the fund drive. All right. Okay. Now on to our Aloreing alignment chart. Da, 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 da. Oh, I forgot to. Okay.
I remember this week.
We switch off.
Okay, wait. We're gonna pause. Stand very still. So here's our Aloreing chart.
I touched my nose, and that's how I did it, everybody. That's how that happened.
So this middle chaotic one, that is me. I don't really think they give a shit. They just sail around, which I'm pretty sure is exactly where I put the Kraken, because like they're just a fish, you know. They're just out there to sink boats and eat. They eat whales, so they just do whatever they want.
Something's always the bottom of the food chain, and that's scary to think about.
There's always a bigger fish.
Oh, that makes me scared of the ocean a little bit, just a smidgen.
As you should be.
No, I think that's right. There's no indication that they have any laws or rules they follow. They don't seem like they're being good or evil. They're just fucking doing what they need to survive. And they may be they may be dunking some donuts about it, kind of thing, you know, just like
exactly.
It's like forced baptism is kind of what they're doing, but to their own death. So forced baptism to Davy Jones. So that will be considered chaotic.
And the orange one is you.
Yes. So I know I'm speaking from a place that I slightly thirst over them. So I put them more towards good and a little bit chaotic. And Ryan's just shaking.
I strongly disagree with your placement. These are spirits who drown people for what? Because they're having a bad day? I don't know what's good about that.
They drown men. Just men.
Fair enough.
No,
I would. I'd slide them over. I think you got the up-down scale. Nailed it. Left, right, a little skewed. Again, you're a little blinded.
Yes.
You're not seeing the drown people part.
My beautiful woman blinders are on right now. They're like. That the only reason I watched that Resident Evil gameplay was for Lady Demetrius. That's it. And you know what? She was as beautiful as they said, and that's what's happening here too. It's called Women Blinders, and I'm okay with that because
we all have it.
There's someone for everyone.
Yep.
Well, that was great. Thanks for letting me geek out about some of my favorite folklore today. I've been wanting to talk about them for quite some time, so I am over the moon. And then quick reminder, we do our art prompts. So if you guys want to draw something based off the lore you hear this week, go draw
Or me
something.
as a mermaid.
Or Ryan as a mermaid, Ryan as a Rusalka, please do that. I would love that so much. He can put it up on his wall. It would be glorious.
If somebody does it, I will replace my boring background with me as a mermaid.
Do it. But go check out our art prompts. It doesn't even have to just be a drawing. It could be a poem. It could be a video. It could be a song. Tag us in your stuff. We want to show you off. Art is art. Facts. But anyway, that's been our show, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. This has been Aloreing.
Have an alluring day, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.